Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is August 5th, 2024, and Hansi Flick is reportedly implementing techniques or tactics that have not been seen at the club since Luis Enrique. Also, Dani Olmo's agent is currently headed to Germany in order to negotiate Dani Olmo's exit. And finally, some reports are stating that Nico Williams has made a decision to stay at Athletic Club de Bilbao. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and this is the Barca News live podcast, which is on every Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, literally the 3 favorite days of the week because of the podcast. Because not only do I get to share Barcelona with you like in regular videos, but I also get to interact with you lovely people in the chat section by reading your comments out loud, answering your questions, and getting a discussion going. For those of you who will be watching when the podcast ends, I will be putting timestamps in the description and chapters in the timeline in case you do want to skip through the discussion. Having said all that, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. If you're looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, you can head to Goal Kits, Kickback, Fanatics, plenty of options. If you want to place any sports bets, make sure you head to Bet Us. All links are in the description. If you click on them, you'll be helping this channel, but you'll also be helping yourself because you get access to some pretty cool offers and deals. Anyways, let's dive right into the news. And this, I guess, is not necessarily news, but I do want to mention it because today our Gabi, our warrior, Gabi, turns 20 years old, which is crazy because given how long Gabi's been with the team, given how he plays with all the passion, the determination, the fight that he has, you would think the guy is 30. But no, he's only 20 years old. Gabi just turned 20 years old today. It's his birthday, so happy birthday to Gabi, who, by the way, is doing remarkably well in his recovery. As you guys know, he tore his ACL, and the tear also affected his meniscus, so he had to undergo a surgery that has seen him out of the field. It's been 9 months. I think it was November of last year. But his recovery is going a lot faster and better than initially expected. We don't have an exact deadline when he's going to come back because Barcelona don't want to rush him back. Barcelona want to take as long as they need and even more with Gabi because they want to make sure he's 300% ready when he comes back. So no deadline yet or no timeline when he will come back, but he is doing really well. He's still training. He's still doing individual trainings at Ciudad Esportiva, doing really, really well. And today he turns 20 years old. So happy birthday to Gabi. Now, speaking of training, guess who showed up today to the Ciudad Esportiva? The last players who have yet to get reincorporated into the team. As you know, out of the Euros and the Copa America, Spain was the team that made it the furthest because they went all the way to the final and they won it. They were champions. As such, the last 4 players that still needed to get reincorporated into the team were Ferran Torres, Pedri, Fermín López, and Lamine Yamal. And well, today, Ferran Torres, Pedri, and Lamine Yamal returned to the Ciudad Esportiva today. They underwent their medical exams and they also did some training. So the 3 are back. Of course, we still have Fermín López, who played the Euros but has not getting reincorporated yet because he's still playing in the Olympics alongside Eric Garcia and Pau Cubarsí. So beside those 3 players who are currently in the Olympics, all players have reincorporated themselves. They've all undergone medical exams, even the injured ones like Pedri, Frankie, Araujo. They've all done their medical exams. Of course, Araujo's not going to come back till probably the second half of the next season, but it's good to see Lamine back in training. And speaking of training, we do have to talk about the last bit of news in this combined chunks of news because it's reported that Hansi Flick is currently incorporating techniques and practices that haven't been seen since Luis Enrique. Now we know that Hansi Flick, since he arrived, he's been trying to implement discipline. He wants his players to be punctual. He wants everybody to show up an hour before. As soon as the training begins, it's total seriousness, no games, no goofing around. Everybody's focused on their tasks. He's also been implementing a lot of new training techniques, such as training for conditioning techniques, techniques for explosiveness, techniques for strength. So there's been a lot of things being implemented, but one thing that hadn't been implemented in a very long time was weight control. And it looks like Hansi Flick has once again implemented strict weight control, where players get weighed before training, players get weighed after training, players get weighed on a regular basis in order to track their body composition. This is not just a regular weigh-in where you just see what your weight is. These are, this is where they determine your body's composition, your muscle mass, your fat content, your liquids, etc. Because Flick wants to make sure that his players are following the diet that they're supposed to be following and not going home and eating chips and a whole pizza and chugging a 2-liter Coke and then going to sleep. So very strict weight controls that have been implemented. Before, they used to fine players. The last coach to do that is Luis Enrique, who had weight controls. They used to fine players if they, were not following their diet and their weight was not what it was supposed to be. But with Flick, he's doing it a little different, and it looks like it's more of a team shaming, where if you're not meeting your strict diet, your weight, you're not meeting your weight goals. Everybody, they're kind of like announcing in front of the whole team, and the whole team's like, dude, what are you doing? Which I think it's fair enough, because remember, if you're not doing your part, you're affecting everybody else, because this is a team sport. This is not an individual sport. This is not tennis. If you don't take care of your health, you don't take care of yourself, you don't train hard enough, you're affecting all your teammates, because at the end of the day, a chain is as strong as its weakest links. Anyways, let's do the comment section, and then we will talk about the news of Oriol Romeu and his loan to Girona. And we have a donation from the Angry Sparky, who's always donating to the channel, always supporting the channel. He's also a member of the channel. So thank you, my friend, for your continuous support and for your very generous support. But the Angry Sparky says, missed the last podcast. How dare you? How dare you? I'm kidding. Missed the live match analysis, but I'm here now. Seeing Flick ball and watching us high press with quick counterattacks is making me excited for the season. Visca Barca. I'm very excited too. As I've said multiple times, again, this is just the preseason. There's only 2 matches, both of them friendly matches, where both teams are trying different things. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. But having said that, I am happy with what I've seen. And it's not even about the victories. I don't care that we beat Madrid. It doesn't mean anything. I don't care that we beat Manchester City through penalty shootout, because, again, it doesn't mean anything. But what I've seen on the field from the players, the press, the intensity, the quick transitions, how fast they can get to the opposing side with just 2-3 touches, what I've seen from the youngsters, like Pau Victor, Marc Casado, Marc Bernal, Gerard Martin, even Alex Valle against Real Madrid, what I've seen from the young, even Pablo Torre, by the way. Pablo Torre has impressed me. I failed to talk about him because I've been forgetting, but even Pablo Torre has impressed me a lot. The only thing with Pablo Torre, his decision-making. His final decision-making, it always haunts him. He passes when he's supposed to shoot. He shoots when he's supposed to pass. He takes too long. That's the only thing that he's missing. But even Pablo Torres looks like he's finding his form. Very, very impressed. We have a lot to work with. A lot to work with. This is supposed to be a project in construction. Well, we have plenty of material to construct. So that's what I want to say. Let's do more comments, and then we will get back to the news. Let's see. 7 Homani says, hi, Mo. Did you see Fermin's performance today against Morocco? I'm so excited to see him under Flick, and I hope we don't sign Olmo, because that's just going to limit his game time. Yes, Fermin scored again against Japan. Spain is officially in the final of the Olympics. They have a chance of taking gold. That happens. Fermin would have taken both the Euros and gold in the same summer. He's having an absolutely phenomenal tournament. He's building up on his absolute phenomenal form from last season. I'm very, very happy with Fermin Lopez. He's an absolute beast. And this is one of the reasons why I don't want Dani Olmo. Not only because Barcelona would be wasting 60 million euros that they don't have on a player that they don't need, but they're also hurting Fermin Lopez, because if Dani Olmo comes, it's going to limit Fermin's minutes. And now you're doing this like you're hurting both the club, because you're spending money on money you don't have on a player that you don't need, but you're also hurting a great promising player whose name is Fermin Lopez. So Laporta, Deco, for fuck's sake, get your heads out of your asses and stop trying to chase Olmo. Why? Why are you chasing him? What's the point of that? I don't get it. But anyways. Chunky says, I still think we will get Nico Williams. I don't think anyone knows his decision other than his family and Lamine, but he just got back to Bilbao and he should announce his decision pretty soon. We'll talk about that a little bit later, so I don't want to get ahead of myself, but thank you for your comment, my friend. Let's see. On Fire Up says, hey, Mo, if Nico stays at Bilbao, are we going to buy another left winger? No, if Nico stays, Barcelona's going to go all out for Dani Olmo. Makes zero effing sense. Zero effing sense. It's like, imagine you need a car. You need a car to go to work. You need a car to take your kids to school. You need a car to run errands. Maybe you have a wife that you need to take to work. So you need a car, and your car breaks down. And you say, all right, I need a car. I'm going to go buy a car. But if I cannot buy a car, I'm going to buy a TV. It's like, what? But the TV is not going to solve your problems. The TV is not going to get you to work. A TV is not going to get your wife to work. A TV is not going to get your kids to school. What do you mean if you can't buy a car, then you buy a TV? And that's literally what Barcelona are doing. If you can't buy Nico, we're for sure buying Dani. If you can't buy a left winger, which we desperately need, you're going to buy another attacking midfielder, which we have 1 million of. How does that make sense? I have no idea. Maybe you guys can figure it out. If you do, let me know in the comment section. And let's do the next bit of news, because we do have to talk about Oriol Romeu, who landed today in Girona in order to undergo his medical exams and join his former team during the preseason. As you know, I think it was Friday, Barcelona announced that Oriol Romeu had abandoned the Barcelona camp and had flown back to Spain in order to complete his move to Girona. There was speculation that it was a loan, but we didn't know what kind of loan it was, if it was a simple loan where Girona would just take him and pay his salary, or whether there's going to be some kind of loan fee that Girona would pay Barcelona. And well, now we know a little bit more, and it seems that it's going to be a simple loan. So Oriol Romeu is going to go to Girona, spend the full season there. Girona is going to cover his salary, and that's it. They're not going to pay us any loan fees. And like I said, Romeu's already in Girona, ready to get reunited with his former team, which, by the way, was his own request. As you might recall, at the beginning of the preseason, Hansi Flick was happy with what he saw with Oriol Romeu. He wanted him, to continue the preseason. He wanted to count on him. But Oriol Romeu picked up the phone, or maybe approached Laporta in person, said, look, I would like to go back to Girona. Please don't put any stops to this, or please don't try to prevent it. Laporta agreed. They respected the decision of the player, so they allowed him to go back to Girona. That's why it's just a simple loan. But now they're also talking about the reason why Barcelona agreed to a simple loan is because Oriol Romeu's contract expires in 2026. So next summer, his loan will end with Girona. And the reason why Barcelona agreed to a simple loan, or a free loan, if you want to call it that, is because they have hopes that maybe if Oriol goes back to Girona, then maybe his value would increase again. Because remember, Oriol Romeu did absolutely wonderful with Girona. He was top 3 defensive midfielders in La Liga. Came to Barcelona, it didn't really work out, so his value has taken a hit. But if he goes back to Girona and Mitchell can get the best out of him once again, then maybe his value would go up. And maybe Girona next summer, they'll be like, we want to keep him, let's pay you money. Or maybe Girona doesn't want him, but Barcelona could sell him, could sell Romeu to someone else for some money. Of course, Barcelona are not looking to make 30, 40 million off him. They paid 3.4. They're hoping to recover those 3.4. Whether it be Girona paying the 3.4 million next summer, or there be another team paying it, Barcelona agreed to a simple loan or a free loan because they're banking on Oriol Romeu's value going back up again by having another great season under Mitchell, just like he did before arriving in Barcelona. All right, let's get back to the news, and then we will talk about Dani Olmo. Sorry, not the news, the comments. And then we will talk about Dani Olmo. And we have 2 donations. Ferdinand Tembo, who says, hey, Mo, thanks for your content. Always wonderful job. I'm pretty sure that Olmo will play as a winger and not as a number 10. In this club, he is a winger. First of all, thank you for your donation, my friend. And thank you for your comment. Probably, that's my guess, is that if Nico doesn't come and Barcelona sign Dani, they're going to put him as a winger. But here's my problem with that, is that Dani Olmo is not a natural winger. That's not his position. That is not his specialty. His specialty is as an attacking midfielder, maybe as a second striker, not as a winger. So can he play there? Sure. but so can Ronald Araujo in the right back position. So can Cancelo as a left winger sometimes. You can have players playing different positions, but are they going to shine there? Is that their specialty? Is that the best position they can play? Is that where they're going to shine? And the answer is no. So that's my problem. So yes, we could play Dani Olmo on the left wing, but he's not a left winger. I would rather bring an actual left winger than spend 60 million. That's where it really kills me. 60 million. If you were telling me, okay, yeah, Dani Olmo's not really a left winger, but he can play there, and we're going to spend, I don't know, 15, 20 million, I'd be like, okay, fine. But 60 million on a player that we don't need to have him play in a position that's not his specialty, that's where my head starts spinning. And I'm like, what are you doing, Barcelona? What are you doing? Especially given the club's financial situation. This is not a regular year where money's flowing and it's raining and you're like, whatever, 60 million, who cares here? No. We are in bad financial situation. We are counting pennies. We haven't even registered players that we have on the team. And we're thinking about spending 60 million on a player we don't need for a position he's not even a specialist in. Absolutely nuts. I don't know what the hell's going on, but this is unacceptable. And Baby Scumbag with a donation as well, who says, what's up, Mo? I've been watching Robert Lewis these few friendly matches, and he has been pretty poor in my opinion. Thoughts? I agree. I not like him at all against Manchester City or against Real Madrid. I don't know. I forgot Real Madrid's name. I think it has to do maybe with the fact that he just came back from vacation. Well, first of all, he was injured for a while. And then after injury, he was on vacation. And he just got back, so he's still getting into rhythm. He's still finding his form versus, the rest of the team that's been training since July. They've been training for over half a month, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that. So I think that's what it is, or at least I hope that's what it is. But physically speaking, he looks great. He just needs to find his form within the team, which I'm sure Flick will have something to say. And if not, there's the bench, Lewy. Pau Victor is ready. Pau Victor is ready. All right, let's see what else. Let's see. I don't know why I took my glasses off. Joshua says, hi, Mo. I think Barca didn't need any signings, but intense training at least until January for Flick to know who is who and where he will really need a change. I disagree as far as the left wing. I think the left wing is clear. We need someone there. There's nobody there. So that's, if I had to sign just one player, it would be the left wing. The rest of the team, I'm okay. I'm okay Barcelona not signing anyone. I think all of our positions are covered. Goalkeeper, we have Ter Stegen, we have Iñaki, we have Astralaga, we have Cochen, who might not be ready yet, but maybe he can do a few minutes. The fullbacks, we have plenty of players. Kunde, Hector Ford, Gerard Martin, Alex Valle, Alejandro Valde. Center backs position, don't even get me started. I mean, we have Araujo, Christensen, Iñigo, Mika Fay, Pau Cubarsí, plenty of options there. In the midfield, million midfielders, right? Gavi, Pedri, Frankie, Gundo, Fermin, Christensen, who can also play in that position, Marc Bernal, Marc Casado, plenty of options for the midfield. The front, we have Lewy, Roque, and Pau Victor. On the right, we have Lamine, Ferran, and Rafinha, who can play there. And on the left, we have no specialists. None. Zero. Sure, Ferran can play there. Sure, Rafinha can play there, but none of them are actual left wingers. That's the only position where we don't have a player for that position. So I would sign someone for the left wing, and I'm okay keeping the rest of the team as is. But Xabi apologists, remember, they used to say, it's because we don't have signings. That's why. Even though Barcelona signed 22 players for Xabi. No. It was the signings. It was never Xabi. It was the signings. It was the refs. It was the players. It was the injuries. It was the grass. It was the sun. It was the planet's alignment. It was always something, but never the coach himself. Anyways, Ross says Flick has said he likes quick feet CMs, given that Gundo doesn't have quick feet and a year on his contract and Fenerbahce waiting on him. Wish we should sell to get Olmo? No, I would never replace Gundo with Olmo, even though Olmo is much younger. Because Olmo is what, 26? Gundo's 32. 6 years might not sound a lot, but in football, that's like an eternity. But I would never switch the two because Gundogan is a million times, yeah, 10 or 100, a million times. Gundo is a million times better than Olmo. Much, much, much better. Now, quick feet does not necessarily mean quick in speed. And that's what something a lot of people like. I always see some comments saying, oh, Pedri sucks because he's slow. Then you're not paying attention. This is not the 100 meter at the Olympics or the 400 meter at the Olympics. This is football. And quickness means moving the ball quickly. Xavi was not quick when he was a player. Iniesta was not quick. Busquets, he was slower than a turtle. He was not quick either. And yet the three of them formed the greatest midfield in history. They were not quick players. They were quick with the ball. They could move that ball really fast. And that's what quickness means in football. Because you can never outrun a ball, ever. You're never going to be faster than a ball. So the key is not to be as fast as possible. The key is to move the ball as fast as possible, because if you can move the ball fast, the other players, your opponents, cannot catch up to it, because you can never outrun a ball unless your ball movement is super slow and then they can, intercept it. So that's what quickness really means in football. And when what Flick talks about, or what the Cruyffism talks about, it's not the speed of the player, it's how fast the player can move that ball. That's what quickness is. All right, let's do more news, because we do have to talk about Dani Olmo. Because Dani Olmo is currently on a plane, or maybe he already landed, but last I heard he was on a plane with his agent headed towards Germany in order to negotiate his exit. Now, as you know, Barcelona have made 2 offers so far. The first one was 40 million euros fixed plus 20 million euros variables, which was rejected. Barcelona then upped the fixed amount to 50 million euros, which Leipzig are also not happy with, because Leipzig want 60 million for Dani Olmo. If you want him, give us 60, you can have him. If not, nothing else. Now, as I told you in yesterday's video, Barcelona are not planning to up their offer. 50 million is the last thing they're going to offer. Their whole thought process is, look, his release clause was 60 million this summer. It expired on July 20th. Next summer, Dani Olmo's release clause will be 50. So Barcelona's like, look, we give you 50 now. We take him. If not, we'll wait a year. We'll come back next summer and we'll offer you even less. We'll offer you 40 because his release clause will be 50. So take it or leave it. That's kind of Barcelona's position right now. Leipzig are still insisting on a 60 million. So as such, Dani Olmo and his agent are currently headed towards Germany to meet with the directors of RB Leipzig, who, by the way, just came back from their preseason tour, in order to discuss his exit. Because Olmo wants to leave. He wants to go to Barcelona. He doesn't want to stay another season in Leipzig. His understanding was that Leipzig were okay with him leaving, that they weren't going to give him any problems, that they weren't going to put any obstacle in his way. And so far, it's been a little bit difficult because Leipzig are insisting on a 60 million, which, again, I don't think he's worth that. 25 million at most, maybe 30 with variables, but 60 million is absolutely nuts. In Germany, they think it's cheap because he just won the Euros. I don't think it is, but we'll see what Dani Olmo's agent can do. Hopefully nothing. Hopefully his agent's like, oh, no, I bombed this. Now they want 80 million. And then Barcelona's like, crap, I don't have money to pay 80 million. Let's move on. Hopefully, God, please, if you're listening, please make this happen. But that's what's going to happen. Another problem that Leipzig has is with the installment payments that Barcelona had. Remember, that first offer was 40 million fixed, paid 10 million a year. It started in January. So for the first 6 months, Barcelona would not pay anything. Then January 2025, they would pay the first 10 million, and then another 10 in 2026, another 10, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But now Barcelona have changed that, where they would pay the first 25 million in September. So next month, Barcelona would pay 25 million, and then they would pay the rest of the installments. Leipzig are a little bit shaky on it because they're not too confident in Barcelona's finances. They're like, you guys are in debt. What are guarantees that you're going to pay us? So they would prefer much bigger installments. They are much closer to each other. So instead of 10 million every year, I don't know, maybe 30 million now and 30 million in 6 months, something like that. That's not an actual number. It's not actually what they're demanding, but just so you can get an idea, they want bigger installments. They are much closer to each other because they don't have guarantees that, Barcelona will be able to pay them later on. All right, let's get back to the chat section, and then we will talk about Nico Williams, since I know you guys are dying to know what's happening with Nico. Me, I'm fucking sick and tired of Nico and talking about him. But anyways, let's go on. Winston says, I personally think the only position we need is left forward and defensive pivot. Both physically strong like Nico Williams and Onana, then our squad will be complete. I agree with the left wing. I don't think we need a defensive midfielder. We have plenty of talented center midfielders like Casado, Bernal, Frankie, Kundo. Well, Kundo actually plays a little bit better as an attacking midfielder, but Frankie, Casado, Bernal, Christensen, who can play in that position. I think we have plenty of options. We do not need a strong physical defensive midfielder like Onana. Those have never worked in Barcelona, and they're not going to work under Flick either. Flick likes center midfielders that can cover a lot of ground. They can go up and down. They can transition from defense to attack. They can distribute the ball. Someone like Onana is someone who stays back, just defending. And then when the team transitions to attack, it's kind of like, all right, guys, use the ball, have fun, good luck. Where Flick doesn't want that. Flick wants all his players in the final third of the other team. Someone like Onana is not someone who does that. Chunky says, the thing with Xabi was that even when we lost, we would compliment how the team played or make stupid excuses, but we just beat Madrid in Clásico and Flick was demanding more. Still, love this mentality. 100% with you, and I talked about this. 100% agree with you. I talked about this in yesterday's video or yesterday's live analysis, post-match live analysis, because, yeah, you're right. We used to get killed. Like, four goals. Girona scored on us 4 goals. We lost. We got embarrassed. And we got scored on 4 times. And Xabi comes out and says, we deserve to win. We played great. We created more chances. Our XG was high, which is expected goals. Big data says we deserved more. We should have won. It's like, dude, you just played like crap. You lost. You got destroyed and humiliated. And you're talking about how well you did and how you deserved more. And here's Flick, who won, who the team looked good. And he's like, that's not good enough because that's not what I asked of them. They did not press the whole time. I wanted more out of it. I don't care about the result. I want the players to play to their best. That's the kind of winning mentality we need, not someone who just comes up with excuses and always says, well, we deserve to win. Okay, you didn't deserve to win because you played like crap. And B, even if you did, but did you win? You didn't. Football is not about deserving to win or not. Football is about winning. All right, let's see. Lewis says, totally agree. No need for Olmo. The only need we have to spend right now is left wing, a true left wing. We should just go all out for Nico. Fermílin's killing it. We have Pedri and so many others play at Cam. 100% agree with you, my friend. Now let's see. What else? Jasper says, I think we as a football club, we only should buy Nico. Otherwise, save money for next season to go big this season. See if we can grow out our own academy players because we are not going to win Champions League anyway. I agree with you. I think we should go all out for Nico. If we cannot sign with Nico, let's just work with what we have. I'm not expecting any trophies anyway. This is the first season. This is a brand new project. Lots of youngsters, lots of inexperienced players. Let's just keep working with those. Sure, it's going to suck because, Barcelona fans always expect trophies every season. But I would rather go out trophyless 1 or 2 seasons and then absolutely dominate for many, many years rather than rush things just so we can win a Copa del Rey here, and a Liga title there, like the Xabi apologists who are like, oh, we won 1 La Liga in 3 years. Woohoo, bravo. And where's the project? Absolutely in shambles. I would rather go 2-3 seasons without any trophies and then dominate for many, many years rather than have a terrible project that wins me 1 trophy every now and then I get to say, yay, we remember that 1 trophy we won that 1 time. Woohoo. I don't get people. Anyways, let's get back to the news because we do have to talk about Nico Williams because today in the early hours of the morning, Pedro Morata, a reporter in Spain for COPE, I think it was the COPE, came out and said that Nico Williams had made his final decision to stay at Athletic Club de Bilbao and that his agent had communicated that to PSG. Now, as you remember, PSG was interested in Nico amongst many, many clubs. And Nico, he was always clear about his future. I either stay at Athletic Club de Bilbao or go to Barcelona. That's why all the Premier League clubs did not make any offers because they found out what the position of the player is. So they backed away, like Arsenal, Chelsea, who are interested in signing everybody. They called me yesterday. They want to sign my dog. They think he will be good forward. I told him, look, you have a lot of forwards. My dog's not going to get any minutes, so no thank you. But anyways, and then PSG were still interested. They called Nico Williams, and the agent said, look, he's not interested in going to PSG. And according to Pedro Morata, the agent said, he's not interested to go to PSG, so thank you for your interest, but he's going to stay at Athletic Club de Bilbao. Supposedly, that's what Nico's agent said to PSG, and Pedro Morata broke that news today. Well, as soon as Pedro Morata broke that news, immediately Gerard Romero came out and said, guys, chill, calm down. Nico Williams has not made a decision. My information says exactly the same. Why do I bring it up? I bring it up because every freaking day, at every hour of the day, there's reports. Nico decides to come to Barcelona. Nico decides to stay. Nico decides to come to Barcelona. Nico decides to stay. Nico decides to retire from football. Nico decides to become a baseball player. And it's like, there's no news, guys. There's no news. He has not made up his mind, but he will have to. Because August 12th, that's next Monday, is when Nico Williams has to report back to the Athletic Club de Bilbao. And remember, Nico has made it very, very clear from day one. If I go to Barca, it has to be before I start my preseason with Athletic Club de Bilbao. So the deadline is next Monday. If he goes back to training, it's over. He's staying at Athletic Club de Bilbao. If he decides to come, then Barcelona better be ready to not only pay the 58 million euros for him, but also to register him. So time is running out. There's only 6 days left. No decision has been made. So don't listen to the reports that came out today saying that he has decided to stay or retire or become a baseball player, you know, kind of like pulling off a Michael Jordan thing. None of that is true. And with that, let's get back to the chat section. Let's see. Young Braveheart says, I'd rather not pay anything and wait for next season. Oh, wait. I already did that. Sorry, guys. Carla says, I know we shouldn't count our chickens before they hatch, but I am liking our new style of play. Already more exciting, and I'm okay. This is our new identity. Also, great work, Mo. Thank you, my friend. I'm excited too. But again, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's remain patient. Let's give the project time. It needs to mature. Let's not rush into conclusions. Again, this is just a preseason. These are friendly matches, meaningless friendly matches. But I am liking what I'm seeing. Hopefully, we can keep building on it. And hopefully, we can have successful seasons to come. Not necessarily this upcoming one. I'm not expecting anything but the ones that come after. If we can have a successful first season, I'm all for it. But I'm keeping my expectations low. Winston says, hey, Mo, do you think signing Cancelo is still a priority knowing we have Valle, Baez, Gerard Martin, Julian Araujo, Hector Ford, and Kunde in the wing? It's not a priority. It hasn't been a priority since he left. Barcelona's kind of like keeping him as an option. Like, we'll wait until the final day of the market. And if by the final day, Manchester City agrees to loan him to us for free, then we'll take him. That's what Barcelona's position is, which is much better than Barcelona going out and trying to sign Cancelo at all costs like they're doing with Dani Olmo, because literally they're the two same situations, you know, going out all out on a player you don't need. So at least Barcelona are not doing that with Cancelo. But even then, I'm like, even if it is kind of like, oh, we'll wait until the final day, and if we can get you for free, why not? Even now, I'm like, but why? Even if he does come for free at the last day, but why? We don't need Cancelo. Like you said, we have all these players. Julian Araujo, Kunde, Hector Ford, Valle, Alex Valle, Gerard Martin. That's 3 fullbacks on each side. Specialists, like 3 actual right backs and 3 actual left backs. Not to count Mika Fai, who can play as a left back as well. That would make it 4. I don't know. So even that position of like, whatever, if he comes, he comes, and if not, even then, it's like, why? Because at the end of the day, even if he comes for free, you still have to pay for his salary. You still have to find space on your wage bill for his salary. So what's the point? On Fire, OP says, I've heard some reports that if Barca fail in Nico deal, Barca will be going for Bayern left winger. Is it true? I'm guessing you're talking about Brian Zaragoza. I haven't heard anything. I know Barcelona were considering Brian Zaragoza at the beginning of the summer, even before the market opened. But it was kind of a last resort, low-cost option, kind of bring him on loan. But that was weeks and weeks ago. Right now, I haven't heard anything. I have seen the reports circulating, but none of my sources, at least, have told me anything about this. Luis Solano says, thoughts on the fullback competition. Who stays on the first team? That's going to be tough because right now it's really tight. I mean, obviously, Balde and Kunde, assuming Flick wants Kunde as a right back and doesn't bring him back as a center back, but assuming as Kunde continues his role as a right back, I think those are going to be our starters. Balde on the left, that's 150%. Flick really, really likes Balde. He wants to turn him into his next Davis. And then Kunde on the right. No doubt about that. Now, the question is, who are going to be the substitutes, right? On the right, is it going to be Julian or Hector Fort? If I had to choose, it would probably be Hector Fort. Not because Flick prefers Fort over Julian. It's because Julian has the chance of leaving. There's plenty of clubs interested in him. So Barcelona could technically make money off him. When it comes to Fort, Barcelona are like, no, this is an academy kid. We're not getting rid of him. So if push comes to shove and Barcelona have to get rid of one, they're going to get rid of Julian Araujo and keep Fort. So if I had to put money on it, it would probably be Kunde and Fort on the right. On the left, like I said, it's going to be Balde. The substitute, right now it's really close. It's between Gerard Martin and Alex Valle. Gerard Martin was kind of winning, but Alex Valle had a really good performance against Real Madrid. I think Flick is leaning towards more Gerard Martin. But there, I wouldn't bet anything. Right now, it's like a toss-up in the air. All right, let's see more comments. Where did we leave off? Curtis says, Mo, almost a left winger firstly and has always been since La Masia in Zagreb and Leipzig. He can also play as a 10 and on the right. He's an attacking midfielder more than the left winger. That's his main position. Let's see. Joshua says, but with the special training Ansu Fati is going through, not for the injury, I think he will do great as a left winger if he discovered his form. From what I saw is that Hansi Flick was actually trying out Ansu as a 9, as a center forward, not so much as a left winger. But I agree. I would rather have Ansu Fati on the left than bring in Dani Olmo because Ansu Fati is not going to cost us anything. He's already at the club. Or Dani Olmo is going to cost us 60 million, which we don't have. The problem is with Ansu, unfortunately, his injuries. King Hud said, I am so confused if Deco is blind. Is he not seeing the form that Pablo Torre and Fermin are in? Why are the idiots trying to ruin the club? Maybe the Baya left an LM or CDM. I agree with you 100%. Like I said, that's what pisses me off about Olmo. Not only are you spending money you don't have on a player you don't need, but you're also curtailing the progress of players that you already have. And that's the big one for me. You know, if those players weren't there, you're like, okay, fine. If you want to waste your money, waste your money. But now you're wasting your money and you're stunting the growth of players like Fermin Lopez, like Pablo Torre, like Casado, like Bernal, etc. Because Dani Olmo is not going to come to be a sub. If Barcelona are going to spend 60 million on him, plus his salary, plus he's going to come with like, oh, I just won the Euro, so I'm the shit. He's not going to come to be a sub. He's going to come to start. And if he's going to start, who's going to pay the price? It's the youngsters. That's who are going to pay the price. All right, let's see what else. What else? Jorge says, trust the youth until we financially stable. Trust La Masia. My opinion is to always trust La Masia. Even if we're financially stable, I still think you need to make like 2 or 3 big signings, you know, kind of like the Haalands of the world, the Mbappes of the world. I think you would still need to buy 2 or 3 of those. But I think you can still build a team from La Masia, bring 3 big signings, and you're good. You don't need to make a big signing for every single position that you have. That doesn't work. Ask PSG, ask Real Madrid and the Super Galacticos, you know? Okay, On Fire says, what about the 1-to-1 ratio? We have yet to achieve it. And please stop spamming the chat section. Ross says, Mo, tell everyone I personally called the FCB website and left a voicemail at customer service to only sign Nico. I gave them your contact info as my assistant, so everyone relax. Well, I appreciate that you've done that, my friend. Hopefully they listen to you. All right, let's see what else. Lamin Depo says, hi Mo, watching from the Gambia. When will we stop talking about Dani Olmo? Olmo doesn't need him. He's not a priority. I hope pretty soon, but it's looking like it's happening. So unfortunately, we're not going to stop talking about him until Barcelona sign him, which looks like it's pretty soon. All right, let's see what else. The Matrix says, are you telling me we as Barcelona can't find a cheap left wing CDM and a right back? Well, we don't need a CDM. We don't need a right back. What we do need is a left winger. And that is a very good question, my friend. And that's a good question that we need to ask both Deco and Laporta, because what are they doing? I don't know. But with that, let's wrap it up. Thank you guys for an amazing turnout. Thank you for your comments, your likes, your subscription, your generous donations. You guys are absolutely amazing. I will be uploading a news video a little bit later tonight. I will see you in that video. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. And as always, Visca Barça.